Hi everyone. So, gonna be doing a quick video today. It's gonna be a writing lesson. I haven't done a ton of these lately, and quite frankly, I need to get back to that. So today it's gonna be a short dialogue writing lesson. For those that know me, you know that when it comes to lessons and advice, especially on this channel, I tend to give more general concepts and less prescriptive dialogue. So I don't do like necessarily 10 tips to fix your dialogue. Instead, I'd rather give general advice and general concepts and let you take those and apply it. I think you'll get much more out of that. So for this, I'm going to tackle obviously the general idea behind dialogue. This should be a very foundational thing that you should have for those that are newer, especially that maybe your dialogue tends to not be as strong. It's probably because you haven't tackled this main idea here, which is the idea of maintaining the subtext of reality, so the subtext of real conversations, but changing the literal text to be more what you would call more conventional dialogue in stories. And what I mean by that is I'll go into that in a second. So, realistic dialogue, right? Dialogue you hear every single day, conversations you hear at coffee shops, on the sidewalk, whatever. It tends to not be something you can translate to the page, right? Realistic dialogue has conventional language, so a lot of non sequiturs, repeated words, a lot of pleasantries. If you were to literally get a stenographer and literally write out what people say every day, that dialogue is never going to work. It's just not going to be something that can translate over. It's just not. It's not short. It's not to the point at all, and it's not engaging. That which is the main thing for your readers. You want to make your dialogue engaging. So instead, when you write dialogue, you want your dialogue that makes points, arguments, or closure. Okay, points, arguments, and closure. That should be what your dialogue really focuses on. And the way to see this is to watch, like if you watch, any kind of classic films, tend to be a way to do it, or just reading books that are written by guys that have, or gals that have really good dialogue technique. You'll notice it. You'll notice the way the words sound, the way the conversations run. You notice how engaging that is. That's what you need to try to mimic. And a lot of this is something that you can see on your own. But that's what you need to go for, is less conversational and more text that is, again, designed to keep the points, arguments, and closure. Now, I did say that you want to maintain the subtext, though, of reality. And so what I'm saying is that you need to maintain the subtext of conversation while changing the literal text of a conversation in a story. And I'm going to give you an example right here, right? So in a real conversation, someone might say, "Hi, John, did you see the Red Sox game last night?" Very boring. But realistic, you'd hear it, but boring. The literal text of the story is about baseball in minutia, right? It's very, it's a throwaway thing. You wouldn't think anything of it. What's the subtext, though, right? The subtext are two buddies. Two buddies are talking. People that have a close relationship, probably in some sense, maybe workplace buddies, maybe just workplace pals, but they share some sort of conversational tone. So that you could assume they probably are buddies or friends, right? Text and subtext. Now, the good dialogue would be something like this, where if you were writing, say, a sci-fi film and there's something about maybe alien abductions are going on, right? You would say, "John, did you see those lights in the sky last night?" The literal text is about aliens and abductions. It's way more engaging. That is way more interesting than the Red Sox, right? But the subtext remains the same. It's about two buddies. Now, you could argue maybe the buddies are a bit closer, that, that someone can talk about the Red Sox with just some guy at work that you don't even really, maybe you just say you see in passing, right? So you could argue maybe there's a close relationship here between that. But the idea, I hope you understand, is that the subtext is still two buddies having a conversation. There's a closeness between them, okay? That's what you need to maintain with your dialogue, is maintain the subtext, but changing the literal text to be less realistic, to more to the point, less conversational, and more direct. I hope that helps. It's a very, again, not a whole lot to dive into with this, just a general idea. But if your dialogue is poor, I'm imagining it's probably because you keep the literal text and the subtext of actual conversations, but not changing the text for your stories while maintaining that same subtext. If anyone has any kind of questions on this topic, anything you guys may have want to go over, let me know. Put it in the comments and I can cover that with you.